Onto lyrics messages trapped by a TV chamber, Puigdemont conceded how his efforts had unsuccessful and charged his own party of giver up on him. Following elections recent monthly, Puigdemont was the just applicant designated to conduct Catalonia's new by the government. The anxiety is, he is in personality imposed expulsion in Belgium, incapable to set leg in his own nation, out of creature detained for his portion in keeping recent years prohibited plebiscite on autonomy of Spain. On Tuesday, the orator of the Catalonian parliament, Roger Stream, suddenly hanging a meeting in that MPs were anticipated to prove Puigdemont as CEO. Allegedly, the judgment was undertaken in procedure to safe guarantees of Madrid how the voice would be respectable. The Spanish by the government has previous told how it will not enable Puigdemont to back to force. Stream insisted how Puigdemont yet had the supporting of the pro-independence parties how conduct a thin most in the Catalonian parliament. But Puigdemont emerging unconvinced. The has go to and late on to Telecinco's Anna Rose Shaw. The messages were spelled in Catalonian and shipped via the alarm exchanging messages app to his ex-public health secretary, Tony Comín. The which Puigdemont's messages supposedly told, I am a humane creature and down there are times while I as well include doubts. I am as well the CEO and I will no one decrease nor move behind as a question of honor, gratitude and trade-off in our countrymen and the nation. We go at, he wrote. He as well embattled the infringement of his confidentiality. In his social response to the judgment of the Catalonian parliament to halt the voice, Puigdemont emerging excited and defense. In speech via conference call Tuesday, he emerging to include no preliminary expertise of the suspend, signaling a main collapse in the Pro-Independence Association. We trust how democratic state cannot be deferred or hanging, he told, on to Spain's El País. Addition how his intentions remained untouched. Down there is no some applicant or some probable math conjunction, he told, addition Madrid could not dictatorship who became CEO. If Puigdemont loses supporting of pro-independence MPs, his bid for force would be above. His representative, Joan Maria Peake, rejected Puigdemont was examining withdrawing his candidate, accounting how he had go by enlarged blood pressure and how he had a bad time. Madrid-Barcelona confrontation. The domestic by the government in Madrid has been implicated in a prolonged play of chick in the provincial authority in Barcelona with Puigdemont's by the government defied a constitution trial governing and went front in a plebiscite on autonomy on October 1 recent year. Catalonia has now been out of a CEO with deceased October. Spanish Main Secretary Mariano Rajoy has often named on Parliament to overlook Puigdemont and select a pure applicant. The Spanish by the government has desired Puigdemont's detention following the Catalonian Parliament proclaimed simplex autonomy in deceased October. The country attorney accuses him of mutiny, uprising and improper use of cash. He could person many decades in jail if loaded and condemned. Few other include already been concluded in Madrid, waiting test on the identical extortion. Their supporters believe them policy prisoners. The might of Madrid. Madrid has utilized each legislative instrument in the box to hold Puigdemont of office space, and it now appears to include the top brush in the confrontation. The Spanish by the government has superimposed straight guideline in Catalonia, take monitoring of the independent area's social institutions. Rajoy newly endangered to expand straight guideline should Parliament select Puigdemont as its lead at large. It has as well lodged an annex to the Constitution trial to guideline how a lead cannot manage of overseas. If the trial though accepts the annex, the trial to voice for a CEO will be once again hanging, extending the already long policy meltdown. The question of autonomy has been deep separating in Catalonia and slight appears to include displaced in social view with the October 1 plebiscite. As the area has not been permitted a legislative plebiscite on the question, the December voice was seen as an unofficial popular vote on autonomy. An against independence side, Countrymen, won the greatest quantity of seats, but it did not include close, quite allies to shape by the government. The three pro-independence parties took force in Parliament in a thin most of seats, but they obtained less than rather than 50% of the famous voice, offering how largest Catalans do not definitely supporting autonomy.